Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is Saturday, and yes, today we're doing the last video on 9th house series, as in 9th Lord in the 12th house. And on Monday, I am hopefully either by tomorrow night or Monday, I'm going to upload my video on Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone horoscope. And they're both going to be joining me in an interview session, and I'm going to present them their horoscope in front of them. Oh my God, you better watch out for that one. Look out for that one. And then after that, we'll start on our 10th Lord through house series, which is probably going to be by Wednesday or Thursday. So, 9th Lord in the 12th house. What happens when 9th Lord goes into the 12th house? And as usual, if you do not know where your 9th Lord is placed and where your other Lord through houses are placed, for that check out the links here and check out my full astrological report, including my books Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light, that come with literally most of the options on the website. So, 9th house. What is 9th house? 9th house represents religion, spirituality, philosophy, your teachers, gurus, law, postgrad education in universities. You know, it represents foreign travel due to like religious pilgrimage, travel due to education pretty much, and just experiencing different cultures and different ethnic groups out in the world. Well, what is 12th house? 12th house is actually, you can say, love of the 9th house, because it's fourth from itself. It's a heart of the 9th house. 12th house represents spirituality. It represents foreign travel, distance travel, like that are across the ocean, across the sea. 12th house represents the other dimension, the psychic realm, the realm where you do not know what exists and what doesn't exist. So that is seen from that. And then 12th house also represents expenditures, expenses. And it doesn't really represent losses, it's more of expenses and expenditure. 12th house represents bed pleasures, like sex, sleeping, you know, all kinds of behind the scene shenanigans that you all do. Okay, this is why today Buddy Ma's here, my mom, to take care of Pramila, so I can finally take my wife out on a date and treat her to nice food and do other things with her that I haven't done in a long time. Very long time. So today's the day. That's why I haven't shaved, because I'm going to shave when I go out tonight. So anyway, 9th Lord, when the planet that controls the 9th house goes into the 12th house, shows a person will go travel aboard, will travel across the sea to get their postgrad education, to get their higher education. Shows you will meet gurus, and your teachers will be residing in foreign lands. So whether they come from foreign lands to you or you go to them to foreign lands, your higher education and your higher philosophical education, your higher spiritual education will be attained in foreign lands, will be attained in across the sea. And as you know, 12th house represents private places like jails, monasteries, hospitals, ashrams, you know, libraries, private spaces, secluded places. So shows to gain your higher spiritual beliefs, higher philosophical beliefs. You're the person who will travel to the most isolated places in this world. And 9th house, which represents law, shows that perhaps you are a practicing attorney of international law. You are an attorney who practices in foreign lands. And because of the fact 9th house also represents religious activities, shows religious activities transforms into spiritual activities, meaning these kind of people are less religious and more spiritual. And their intuitive mind is extremely strong, especially when certain planets are placed in the 12th house, being the 9th house Lord. These people can make great psychics, they can make great mystics, they can make great astrologers, spiritual gurus, spiritual teachers who go to foreign lands and not only meet their own guru, they start practicing spirituality in foreign lands. So everything spiritual is seen from this. Now, depending upon what planet is controlling the 9th house and goes into the 12th house, will differentiate these scenarios. So let's jump on that. So let's say if Sun as the 9th house ruler goes into the 12th house, what this shows is that your ego and your self-esteem and your confidence in this life will come from being in private places and being in secluded places where you're learning the higher knowledge of esoteric world. These are the people who are absolutely involved in mystical things, involved in, spiritual deeds, but more spiritual than investigative deeds. They love investigating the occult in the privacy of their own space. They like to be secluded in like ashrams, forests, monasteries, libraries. Their personality and their confidence shines when you discuss things with them in private. When they go to foreign lands, they find a better scenario of exposing their confidence and ego to other people. Their ego rises and confidence rises when they learn more in foreign lands, and especially learn about investigating things, researching things, looking deep into things. Now, this can also show, and I have seen this, where your father might actually go to foreign lands or go to jails to get the reaps of his karma. So if in the 12th house sun is there and he has other negative influence in that 12th house, shows on behalf of the father you may experience a lot of loss of ego, loss of your confidence, and father perhaps will even cost you your reputation, because Scorpio is a very karmic sign. And it's a very delicate sign where if a little bit of negativity comes in, it'll move to this way. If more positivity comes into play, it'll move this way. So this is where you have to really see what's happening with your particular sun. Let's say moon controls your 9th house, going to the 12th house, shows your mind only feels balanced, and your happiness in your psychological mind only feels balanced when it's isolated from the world and reading about spiritual things. You like to have more female gurus than male gurus in your life. And even if you have a male guru in your life, he'll be very feminine in nature. And this shows that your mind finds itself in a very peaceful state when it's thinking and imagining things, because 12th house is a house of imagination. These are the people who may make brilliant writers. These are the people who do very well when they work for themselves and by themselves. Meaning these are the people who do not like to be managed and do not want to manage other people. And creativity shines for them. The mother was an extremely spiritual person who was also very creative, who also showed them how to balance relationships in life. But also shows mother perhaps went to foreign lands a lot, traveled to foreign lands a lot. Let's say if Mercury controls your 9th house and Mercury goes into the 12th house, shows somebody who's extremely intelligent in regards to going to studies abroad, going to best universities, somebody who's very inclined towards research field, somebody whose communication, intelligence, and analytical skills perhaps might go into spiritual things. What these people like to do as 9th lord in the 12th house is that the person likes to intelligently and logically extrapolate spiritual things, spiritual text, spiritual knowledge. They're like, okay, I will teach you spiritual knowledge, but it won't be a hogwash stuff. It will be stuff that is realistic, that can be proven, and that can really hold itself out in the world. So very good in terms of going towards a higher spiritual life with logical thinking and logical intelligence. They can make brilliant writers. Their imagination flourishes when they write. So these are the people who can write books a lot, because 9th house is a house of publishing. You're publishing book related to spirituality. You're publishing book related to science fiction, because 12th house is every weird thought process that a person can have. It shows on behalf of higher studies, you may have a lot of expenses and expenditures. Perhaps you took a student loan and you had to go to Yale University from India, or you were in India, you suddenly got an opportunity to go to Stanford or MIT, and for that you need extra money, extra funds, so you have to go to the bank and take the loan. So on behalf of higher education, you may take up expenses for those reasons. And also shows there's tremendous amount of communication with your father's siblings. Your father's siblings, you were with Moon and Mercury, you were emotionally and analytically and logically connected to your father's siblings. Great relationships with father siblings, because 12th house is the house of father siblings. Let's say if Venus controls your 9th house and Venus goes into the 12th house, shows one is definitely interested psychologically, mentally, physically to just travel. These people love travel. They're like the gypsies of the horoscope. They love to experience different culture, different art, different sort of people who can elevate their creativity into a different realm. These are the people who will find their spouse in foreign lands. The spouse will be from foreign lands while they're traveling across the sea. They will get a wife who is definitely status oriented, but at the same time has a love for traveling. And Venus, which also represents your interaction and your ability to form relationship with other people, shows you do far better forming a cordial relationship with people who are mature and who are from different culture and different background. Like, you cannot stand people perhaps of your own culture and on your own ethnicity. You run away from them. You find better interaction with perhaps people with your own ethnicity in foreign lands. But this is a highly spiritual placement of Venus. People here can really become the Mother Teresa's of the world. They really like to just love everybody equally, and they want to be involved in a lot of spiritual activities. They can make great nurses who work behind the scenes, who work in hospitals, especially with Moon too. Moon and Venus can show somebody who has a very feminine nature of serving people in spiritual places, isolated places. Let's say Mars controls your 9th house. Okay, Mars controls your 9th house and goes into the 12th house. What this shows, you like to be very active in your spiritual life. You like to perhaps be in yoga and meditation, Tai Chi, martial arts. In a privacy of a space, you want to experience the most physical of spirituality. Through physical activities, you want to experience the spiritual kundalini. They make, great athletes in foreign lands. And Mars here definitely shows somebody who has tremendous amount of imaginative power and thinking power. Their mind is constantly active. This is why they need to exert that energy into physical activities. And these people can also be highly sexual. They can also be, very much demanding in bed. And Mars, which shows your brother, it's a significator of male siblings and male friends, shows majority of your friends will be from foreign lands or in foreign lands, or your brother must have gone to foreign lands for higher education. Your brother must have gone to foreign lands perhaps to achieve spiritual education. So that is seen from this placement, and also because of the fact Mars represents the education of engineering and law, and dealing with even medical, like using sharp objects to heal people, can show somebody who goes to foreign lands for these kind of studies. Now, like Sun, if Mars is damaged, you can perhaps use a sharp object to kill someone that lands you in jail in foreign lands. That gets you trouble legally, because 9th house is a house of illegal things. If Mars is damaged in the 12th house, you might go to foreign lands and get into some legal trouble that can put you in jail or in a very restricted space. So you need to watch out for that. On behalf of the brother, you're gonna cure a lot of expenses. Perhaps your brother likes to borrow money from you a lot. He wants to travel, borrow money from you. So these people will experience those situations definitely one point in their life if they have a brother or male friends. Let's say if Jupiter controls your 9th house, goes into the 12th house. Well, with this, it's extreme spiritual placement for Jupiter. Jupiter here can make somebody a spiritual guru. Your teachers, your gurus will be met in foreign lands. You will go to foreign lands more for spiritual practice than for educational practice. You have tremendous amount of imagination, tremendous amount of spirituality within you that you want to exert and you want to communicate to the people. You will go to foreign lands and preach people. You'll go to foreign lands and perhaps become a professor and teacher who will speak to masses about higher knowledge and philosophy. Philosophy teachers are seen from this placement with Jupiter. For a woman, it can show your husband will be in foreign lands, extremely creative and spiritual, And if especially if he rules his ninth house with your sign of Sagittarius, if your Sagittarius is in the ninth house, can definitely choose somebody who will be a professor and highly learned person in a university type setting. And your husband, you'll definitely meet him while you're traveling into foreign lands. Let's say if Saturn controls your ninth house and Saturn goes into the 12th house, this can show somebody who may be a very regular type person in foreign lands, who may follow regular routine work, mechanical work, like an administrative person. Somebody like if you're an IT or mechanical engineer, you will do repetitive work in foreign lands for those things. You may go to foreign lands to attain education towards mechanical things, towards things related to manufacturing. You will do business of manufacturing. Shows you will meet very mature, wise gurus in foreign lands who may actually cheat you, perhaps, who may be very strict towards you, so you do not want to pursue higher education. You feel like the teachers that I run into are very manipulative. They do not know how to teach me right. So these people may leave higher education and just pursue things related to realistic life in foreign lands. They might become real estate agents in foreign lands. Or, like Sun and Mars, if Saturn is debilitated in the 12th house with the sign of Aries, can definitely show somebody who may go for long term in foreign lands and kind of suffer there. Perhaps they're not making enough money. Perhaps their education that they got in foreign lands did not help them at all. Perhaps they got into some legal trouble. Perhaps they have a lot of mental agony in their psychological pattern that can land them into asylum, especially if Moon is involved with Saturn. So all these things can be seen, but the process of going to foreign lands can be a long and dragging process. Either it'll take you a long time to finally reach foreign lands with certain positions of Saturn, or you will be in foreign lands struggling and really working hard, having a lot of expenses and not really feeling at peace. So Saturn can do that. Now, of course, if Saturn is conjunct the 12th Lord, receives an aspect from Jupiter, definitely can show who will really be very good in legal field in foreign lands, can make a judge in foreign lands or with foreign issues. Okay, so guys, this is my analysis of 9th Lord in the 12th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And again, if you want to know where your 9th Lord is placed and where your other Lord through houses are, for that, check out the links here and check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light. Otherwise, we'll see you on Monday with our celebrity horoscope guests. Bye-bye.